Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna comparing Charlie Kirk to Martin Luther King Jr. at his memorial is almost satire.
These giants, Washington forging a new nation from revolution, JFK inspiring the innovation and resolve, and MLK redeeming it through moral courage, changed the outcome of eras just as Charlie altered the trajectory of our modern fight against cultural decay and ideological tyranny.
Because if there is one person Charlie Kirk hates, it's MLK. He not only hates MLK as a person, calling him a bad man, he also despises his signature accomplishment, the Civil Rights Act, claiming it should never have been signed.
And the Civil Rights Act, though, let's be clear, created a beast, and that beast has now turned into an anti-white weapon. Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. The country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true. Once a week, we talk about why the Civil Rights Act was a mistake.
And what were those rights and beliefs that King fought for, that Charlie Kirk despised? They weren't radical supremacy. They weren't special privileges. They weren't rights to be better than everyone else. They were civil rights, legal and social guarantees of equal opportunities and protection under the law, regardless of race, religion, or sex. The simple demand that Black Americans be treated like fellow human beings. And the response from society was, no, we cannot do that. Everyone today acts as if MLK was universally beloved, as if the whole country marched hand in hand with him. They talk as if his fight was a jolly crusade that everyone applauded. But the truth is the opposite. King was hated in his time, so hated he was assassinated for his beliefs. The opposition to MLK was wide, coordinated, and vicious. And based on Charlie Kirk's hatred of King, it makes sense to assume he would have fallen into one of the categories of people who despised King. Would Charlie have hated King enough to be a Southern Democrat, a Dixiecrat? These were segregationist governors, senators, and sheriffs who were the most visible enemies of King's movement. George Wallace stood in schoolhouse doors declaring, "Segregation forever."
I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
Bull Connor unleashed dogs and fire hoses on children.
Commissioner of Public Safety Eugene Bull Connor ordered police and firemen to attack the children with high-pressure hoses, batons, and police dogs. Images of the children being brutally assaulted by the police appeared on television and in newspapers across the country and world.
They used the power of law and violence to resist every step towards equality. Or would he have been an FBI or a police agent? The Bureau targeted King as an enemy of the state. J. Edgar Hoover wiretapped his phones, bugged his hotel rooms, tried to blackmail him, and even sent him a letter urging him to take his own life. Hoover called him the most dangerous Negro in America.
One of the larger stains the FBI has ever had to endure on its not-so-spotless record was revealed in its entirety Thursday, a letter asking Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to kill himself, signed, sealed, and delivered by J. Edgar Hoover's FBI. The letter was discovered by a Yale history professor who penned an op-ed for the New York Times.
Police brutalized his movements. Peaceful protesters were beaten, jailed, and even killed. From Alabama to Selma, the police wearing neutral enforcers of law, they were weapons of segregation. Or maybe he would have been a Republican. At first, many Northern Republicans supported civil rights legislation. But when MLK turned his focus to poverty and condemned the Vietnam War, Republicans like Richard Nixon turned against him, building the Southern strategy to appeal to the same white voters who despised MLK. He is definitely too tough on King to be a white moderate. White moderates across both parties tried to silence him. King himself wrote that the greatest stumbling block was not the open racist, but the moderates who told him to wait, to slow down, to stop making trouble. They wanted him to be quiet, patient, and polite, while their children grew up in a world that never changed. As Charlie was a YouTuber, would he have fitted in more with the media? The media and public smeared King. Newspapers accused him of stirring hate. Pundits called his matches disruptive. Ordinary citizens spat on marchers, sent death threats, and bombed churches. We will never know for sure how Charlie would have chosen to oppose Dr. King if he had been around during the civil rights movement. But one thing is certain, he would not have been one of the marchers with King in Selma. Charlie Kirk is no Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, a Jewish theologian who marched with King in Selma in 1965. He famously said, "When I marched in Selma, my feet were praying." Charlie Kirk is no Reverend William Sloane Coffin, a white Presbyterian minister who was a strong civil rights supporter and worked with King. Charlie Kirk is no Viola Luiso, a white housewife from Detroit who joined the Selma to Montgomery March. She was murdered by the KKK in 1965 while driving marchers home. Charlie Kirk is no James Reeb, a white Unitarian Universalist minister from Boston who went to Selma after Bloody Sunday. He was beaten and died of his injuries. Charlie Kirk is no Andrew Goodman or Michael Schwerner, two young Jewish men who, along with a black activist, James Chaney, were murdered by the Klan in Mississippi during Freedom Summer in 1964. Charlie Kirk is no MLK. Charlie Kirk is anti-MLK.